In Roper's Ranch subdivision, the middle lot does not have a lot of buildable acreage, so they were asking to split that lot in half and be able to sell it with the two adjoining lots. And they were given a favorable recommendation. The developer, provided a letter saying that he did not have a problem with it. And since they were not making more lots, we waived the vacate and replat process.
That's precinct 3. Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Wiley, all in favor? Item 13, discuss and approve budget amendment for salary expenses.
The court authorized retroactive pay for the new employees that were hired in August, September, that didn't get the pay raise. We're okay in all the departments it affects except for IT, and he has enough money in his overall budget, so I'm asking for the court to approve that we need to move money from his office equipment up to the salary in the amount of $4,432.96. Bottom line of his budget, because the money's right within his overall departmental budget.
Motion, Commissioner Fowler, second, Commissioner Wiley, all in favor? Item 14, discuss and approve health insurance administrative fees.
When we hired the new insurance company, the administration fee of $50,000 was not known when the budget was adopted. We have monies within each department's insurance line item, so what I'm requesting is that we're able to move a little bit of money for each department, line by line, into one professional line fee, and the commission court to cover $50,000. Doesn't affect the overall budget of the county.
Motion.
We charge each
Fowler,
amount.
Commissioner Morales, all in favor? Thank you. Item 16, Judge Sarah Kennedy, Justice Court 2, consider an action to implement Senate Bill 1419 by approving request for a juvenile case manager to be funded by the $2 court cost, which is currently being collected, reference code of criminal procedures 102.0115, truancy prevention and diversion.
Alrighty. I need to modify a little bit of how it was stated on the agenda. I left out a few words, where it says, on agenda number 16, by approving request for a juvenile case manager should read, approving request to attempt to establish a juvenile case manager program. And the purpose of that is that little bit of changes because it matches the wording in the Senate bill. What I've given you is, the first page is just larger print. I need larger print nowadays to see the basics of the Senate bill relating to funding for juvenile case managers through certain court costs and the establishment of the truancy prevention and diversion fund. This is what the legislature has already done. It went into effect on September 1, 2013, and we've been collecting that $2 fee since January 1 on all criminal cases. And if you look at page 2 on the stapled page, I've highlighted for you section E. My request today is simply for the Commissioners Court to direct the county auditor as the custodian of the county treasury, as worded here, to retain 50% of the $2 court cost which began being added to all criminal conviction offenses in justice court as of January 1, 2014. If you look at the highlighted paragraph on page 2, bill analysis, it says the intent of the act is to reduce the number of juveniles entering the criminal justice system due to the offense known as failure to attend school, or what we commonly call truancy charges. The juvenile case manager program has the goal to focus on prevention and diversion instead of final convictions. If this request is granted today, Mr. Dudnick will be authorized to keep $1 of every $2 currently being collected for the statewide dedicated account in the general revenue fund known as the Truancy Prevention and Diversion Fund. Basically, less money goes to the state and more money stays here in Wilson County. juvenile cases filed in justice of the peace courts only, which include truancy as well as other juvenile offenses. Now, the governor's office has announced that the state will use these truancy prevention and diversion funds to assist counties in the form of grants to help establish and run the juvenile case management programs. I expect that if we establish this intent to establish a juvenile case management program, if it's approved today, that by August of this year, when the budget proposals for 2015 are due, we will know whether or not we qualify for the grant funds. If we do, I expect that the county would then be in a position at no additional cost to the county to hire at least one part-time person to fill the job as juvenile case manager. Currently, I have Ms. Sandy Eagle, I asked her last May, when I found out she was retiring from the alternative center, that she would like to volunteer at my court to help my clerk, Nancy Hoshek, and I get a handle on all of these truancy cases. We've modified our filing system, we've had to do a lot of upgrades because of this Senate bill. Kendra Weiss at the alternative school is also the truancy officer, and they have hired Alma, I can't remember her last name, Salamontes to help them, because so much has changed legislatively that a lot of paperwork more has been generated. And again, the goal is to keep from having so many young people graduate or being encouraged to drop out of school because they have a criminal offense on their record. Failure to attend school is a criminal offense. Years past, it was a civil offense, but now it's a criminal offense, which can go on their record. And unfortunately, we have had some students that have actually been held in contempt of court because they're not complying with the court's order. And I've spoken with Dana Falwell about it, I've spoken with Ms. Chapman about it, and we're looking for ways to make it more user-friendly, so to speak, and try to get kids to do the right thing without winding up in the criminal justice system to not have such a serious, offense for failure to attend school. Wilson County is growing, as are our schools. If Wilson County is to remain competitive and attractive to newcomers, I believe curbing criminal activity and promoting quality education is an area that cannot be ignored. So I was discussing with Judge Jackson earlier, and he said, well, what would happen at the end of the year if the county chose not to have a juvenile case manager program? What if we don't qualify for the grants? And right now, the legislature is silent on that. I researched it, and they don't tell you what's going to happen to that money. If you keep it, what's going to happen after a year? We don't know yet. That's something you'll probably visit in the next legislative session.
Have you visited with Mr. Dupnick on the?
We've mentioned it a little bit, and I've just really got all of my ducks in a row, so to speak. And so my request today is not for the Commissioner's Court to approve the juvenile case management program, because there's still more research to be done, but just to give Mr. Dupnick the permission to start retaining one of those $2 every month, in the hopes that we could hire someone to be at least a part-timer.
And how much are you talking about that part-time?
That'll be up to the county, as what are the job description, what kind of, responsibilities we want them to have. Right now, Sandy is working about 10, 12 hours a week, just coming in whenever she can. She tries to be there when we have court, and her expertise and her experience working in the school system already has been a tremendous help.
That fee is being sent to the state anyway. I mean, we're not being able to use it in any other capacity.
That's correct.
The whole $2 right now is being sent.
And if you did retain one of them, and there was not enough to complete this at the end, you just forward that back on to the state, is that what it would amount to?
That's correct.
So there's no penalty to us if we withhold the dollar, but decide that we cannot afford to fund
Correct.
the program.
And as you said, it's an attempt,
Exactly, that's
So-
the exact words from here, and
So-
attempt to.
basically, there's nothing, that's not that much.
If nothing goes through, then the money that town's owing goes back to the state.
Correct. Correct.
The question that I would have is whether there's any potential other than a grant by retaining $1 to ever fund someone, even if you're working 12 hours a week, by the time you do the payroll and the payroll burden associated with it, you have a pretty
That
good
would be something
situation.
probably at that time, when that occurs, that the opinion would have to be sought after to.
But if we're not committing, we're just opening the door
Yeah.
for the potential, then I'm not.
This is for all four.
How many cases do you have a year, or do you have any idea what we're looking at money-wise?
Just in truancy cases, this year alone, we've heard 230. In 2013, we had 336, and in 2012, I had 119, but these are truancy cases. But these monies, the $2 come from total number of criminal cases in all justice courts. And I pulled it from the OCA, and I showed it to Judge Jackson, because I don't think that's right. I don't think OCA has it correct, but it was about, it said 3,500 on the OCA.
It's closer to 6,000.
Right, so if there's $12,000 being collected, that would be $6,000 that you should have at the end of the
Correct.
year. And
That's
then-
from all four
All
courts.
four.
Correct.
So, that's gonna fall way short unless
Right.
there are other funds that come
The
around.
other thing you have to consider is that when these students and parents are paying their fines, and we have assessed some fairly high fines. Just last week, I had a second offender, and the mother paid $436, and the student paid $436. Take away the court costs, and then 50% of the fine goes to the county, 50% goes to school. So if you figure out a way to include all of that, I believe this program would pay for itself completely. If you look at how much money is.
But I think you need to gather all that data
Right.
for August, whenever the question come up again.
Yes.
Have all that data ready
Right.
to show that it's there.
Right.
And, if there's no risk, nothing from the county, nothing money we're not using anywhere else or whatever, I entertain a motion to
Right.
put it, attempt.
Kathy, have y'all looked this over? I mean, we're not buying to any,
I have scanned the legislation, the law, I haven't read it in detail, but, I will do so.
The only other question I would have about this is, Kathy, is do we have a problem since the agenda item does not say to attempt?
Can I modify it?
On voting it, I don't know if you can, no, you can't modify it after the
So
fact.
can I put it on the agenda for next time with the modification?
Yes.
Yes.
could that give you time to maybe research more?
Yes.
And see
Yeah,
if we're
that would be-
not binding or any,
Right.
just to make sure we're clear of anything that, by making an attempt.
That'll be passed in the next.
There's the table plan. Yes, it will stop by first thing to see on the agenda item.
Okay, item 17, minutes.
Oh, I handed them out.
Yes.
You showed your worksheet.
Okay. Everyone had an opportunity to view them, that's a motion to approve. I mean, Mr. Gomez, Mr. Morales, all in favor?
All right.
Item 18, financial report. Done? Or you think, Josh?
Not till next commissioner court.
Okay. Item 19, payroll personnel changes.
Okay, I have Patrick Ramsey on 4/1/2014, received a promotion, from correction officer to deputy transport, from 420 to 501, for $2,750 a month. Robert Martinez, as of 4/1/2014, he has a transfer. He is no longer gonna be the deputy transport, he's gonna be a correction officer, Department 420, $2,250 a month. Crystal Hidalgo was hired 4/1/2014, Department 220, $1,750 a month, clerk for the county clerk. Joshua Johnson was hired 4/1/2014, Department 420, $2,250 a month as a correction officer. William Setti resigned 4/3/2014, Department 1A, road hand for road and bridge number 4. Rodney Wigley was hired 4/8/2014, Department 501, $2,750 a month as a deputy. Christopher Talamontes was hired 4/9/2014, Department 501, $2,750 a month as a deputy.
I have two changes. The promotion from Gail.
Oh, that's right.
Whatever.
I did not put those in.
And Francis as April 1st.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll put them on there.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? Motion? Comments?
No truck driver.
Commissioner Morales, all in favor?
Thank you.
Item 20, bills.
Judge, as the bills are being passed around, I'd like to bring to the court's attention that we got a bill from District Attorney Pena for the Patty Bond search that's authorizing what he's requesting the county pays for a radar sonar work that was done on site. And we just need to know if this is something that, number one, if it's authorized for the county to do it, for us to pay, and in the future, what's gonna happen if we have to do the same, searches. I'm not sure it can add more to what happened, y'all were out there, when that came about. $300.
Texas Rangers, FBI, and all, we're all out there. It was just information that had come in, and we just wanted to get out there and clear up things that, nothing out there. So, they had the company come with this equipment, and, then they had some equipment from Holt Machinery that was run out there, and Commissioner Fowle brought his backhoe, and Doug also. And, anyway, for the, what was it, $300?
Yes, sir.
And then, Commissioner Fowle's people didn't break it, but, the Ranger who was operating that piece of equipment grabbed hold of sewer line, so we had to I had to go buy a section of sewer pipe and clamps and things to fix that. I mean, I guess you could say, in a way, the case is still ours, but, the DA's the one that had it all set up to do.
And Mr. Pena said that other counties kind of do this to help benefit his office as well, and we just, I told him I'd get back with him after we come to court and decide what we're gonna do for the future, and if we're gonna approve this one.
Just let me make a comment if I can. I mean, we were under the impression it was all gonna come out of the DA's office. Even the Rangers were making the assumption, even telling the rest out there. And the only thing I like to see is, especially in the future, if they're gonna request something, they need to get with the sheriff and figure out before anything is even done, who is gonna pay. Because they were talking about digging up a septic tank, we could have been $5,000-6,000, and then who's gonna pay it? That needs to be worked out before anything is done.
We can get Dana's office to write a letter to Mr. Pena, to let him know how this is gonna work.
And that way, if they contact the sheriff or the
Yeah.
judge,
Right.
Correct.
they will tell us that, this is what's gonna happen and this is what's
Yes.
going on. At least we will know about it.
You've already invested your equipment and your labor. That's a cost.
So I guess that one,
It's kind of one of these, it's not just a black and white area, there's a lot of gray in there, and, needs to be some coordination between the agencies. We don't want to stifle any kind of, opportunities to solve a crime.
Absolutely.
And so, probably the best thing would be for the sheriff to visit with the DA, determine how you're gonna do that and everything, that us can make a public comment as to whatever, as to anything, because we need the cohesiveness of
Sure.
working together,
I understand that, but what he's saying ahead of time, he's gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
That's what I say. That's something that the departments need to work out if they can. I mean, if not, then we need to make a statement, but what I'm saying is, we don't wanna get so black and white that we don't have the lateral movement in order to work together on things to make sure that we give our citizens the best service they can get out.
I agree with that.
so Commissioner Fowle, we can just get the attorney's office to write a letter that in the future, we will just have to be coordinating with the sheriff's office or whatever, that they're in agreement, so.
Well, I would say like the search would be the sheriff department's search.
Right.
And actually, it should go through the sheriff as to any of the whatever, but I think that's something that he needs to work out with the agencies themselves without us making a mandate
Sure, okay.
as to what to say. In other words, if that's not possible, then we'll do it, but it's not a good thing if we can avoid it.
I would think there would be a place you could almost draw a line in time, you know, from offense being committed as to who paid, but.
Well, he indicated to me that, hey, if I request an autopsy, where does that go? The county pays it. So,
I think,
I don't know.
Is there any precedent that y'all remember that we've done before?
Not in Zoom, like
So we have money on the general fund to pay the 300?
I think we'd be best off to pay this one and then.
Yeah, I mean, this one I don't have a problem paying, go ahead and pay it, but I think in the future, if they can get something worked out, if he just says he's gonna pay it,
Correct,
then he needs to pay it.
correct.
Right.
And that's what the understanding was, he told everybody he was gonna pay it.
Where there's enough lead time in situations like this, that those questions could be answered, if you know the questions to ask. We don't do enough of these to,
No.
we know the question now, we didn't know before.
Right.
Well, and really, if he said he was gonna pay it, you take
Take
his
his word
word
for
for
it.
it,
Right.
you know. And the letter doesn't comment on,
Well, in my conversations with him, because initially he had asked us to go out, that never came up one way or another. You know, he wanted assistance and with equipment, and that never came up, so I don't know. Maybe the question came up, but it's sort of after the fact.
It should be a pretty standard thing. The sheriff initiated to search. So whatever he requested out there, now, the DA could have come to him and said, I've got this, would you like to have it? That'd be an agreement between them, you know. But just to bring it without being requested to bring it, probably not the way it should happen, you know. But like I said, those, and on the reverse side of it, say the DA had initiated an investigation, asked the sheriff to come help them. He said, what would you want me to bring? You know, I mean, what do you need from me? So, I mean, it's a matter of just kind of, you know, like I said, if we get real involved in laying down the law or whatever as to how it's gonna be done, we're gonna stifle a lot of opportunity for people to work together, you know. On the $300, a motion to pay, Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Fowler, all in favor?
Right.
Can I have the big?
No,
No, not,
You, maybe he can get you a copy.
yeah, I'll keep it here. Okay.
On the bills, Mr. Whitney, on that check that I,
Yes, sir.
Rose County, it's not reflected here this time.
This is a check you wrote to county.
I don't put checks.
It may be on your desk, Mr. Tom, I'll give
Yes,
it
sir,
to you,
yeah.
and you was gonna get it to
Right.
Ann,
Right,
is it still there, is that?
I believe so.
Okay,
yes.
no, not a
Yeah.
problem, I just wanna make sure
Right.
that, so,
Right.
okay, going back then to items 10 and items 15. Item 10 being discuss and take action on the interlocal agreement between the city of Livonia, Texas and Wilson County, Texas. And item 13, item 15, Ricky Morales, Commissioner, Wilson County Commissioner, Precinct Number 3, request to forgive debt Sutherland Springs Volunteer Fire Department created on June 27, 2011 as a matching fund. At this time, the court reserves the right to go into executive session pursuant to section 551.071 through section 551.076 of the Texas Government Code. Is there a motion to Commissioner File, Commissioner Rice, all in favor? And the
'They going into closed session on this?
It's requested.
I mean, they gotta kind of be specific. They can't just go into exec because they don't want the public to hear.